In every wrinkle, there is a story.
Tell me about your childhood. Childhood, yeah. It's a very long story. Tell me now the way that where you grew up, how was it? About your twin brother.
I grew up at Ekpiri Koromo in Akpabonyi local government.
What did you say?
Ekpiri Koromo. That is
Ekpiri Koromo.
Yeah,
okay.
Koromo. That is a village in Akpabonyi. That was far back in the 50s, 60s.
Well, when were you born?
I was born there at Ekpiri Koromo.
When?
1955 now.
Yeah, so why are you saying 50s as if it's 1950? It's 1955.
55, yeah.
Okay, so how was it like growing up there?
Well, our bed was just I wouldn't want to use mystical, but it was miraculous.
Mm.
Yeah, because
you and your twin brother.
Me and my twin brother. And I remembered after my mother told us, it was a traditional bed attendant that delivered us. And after I was...
That's a midwife?
Yes.
Okay.
They were called traditional
bed attendants. Okay.
So after I had been delivered, they thought there's oil in the belly. But suddenly, my auntie...
Okay, there was no scan?
no, not. Okay. So the next thing, I heard my mother tell me that the sister came to her and told her there's another baby. There's something that they see like ball, it's a baby, it's crying. So immediately they brought the baby out. Scandal was everywhere. They said my mother has given birth to twins, like goats. So that thing almost
like goats.
Because it was at that time it was goats that can give multiple births. Now they expected that as human we should be only one child at a time. They never thought that there could be multiple births. So well, apart from that, our growing up was very interesting because we always go together. Me and my twin brother fighting together. Sometimes.
Who used to be two?
That was.
Say the truth. Who is the B2?
Most of the time I overpower.
I'll ask him too.
Yes. He will tell you.
You are going right.
There was even a time we used to do those challenges. There was a day I pressed him to the wall until he fainted. I didn't know. They said they came to me and said that you want to kill your brother since.
But you said you wanted to kill your brother.
I can want to kill your brother. It was a mistake.
Okay, so did you people go to was there primary school then?
Yes, I went to infant, standard 1. From standard 1 to standard 2. That was at Esongbat.
Both of you were in the same class?
From the infant, we were together, but at about standard 3 or so, we were separated because at that time, they cautioned my mother that the affinity between two of us is too much. That if you don't separate us, it will be very difficult when we grow up. So that was how my uncle, took Basi. Basi is my twin brother.
Yeah.
So he took him. And they were at Nakanda while I was here in Britain.
But why did they think that separating you people is what you needed?
Well, because sometimes if I fall sick, he will equally fall sick.
Okay.
If anybody fight me, both of us will fight the person. So,
okay, you are going left.
So the affinity was really very strong. So they thought at that level, if you continue, it will be difficult. And at times we used to do one nasty play like that.
Okay, so that somebody will not give you.
Yeah. The only memory I can remember in the childhood days was
put your double pointer.
When we went to went to school.
Triangle. Yeah.
We went to school, and one of our elders at that time I think he beat me. So from school, me and my brother would continue to fight him until we got to the house. So my mother was like, "What happened?" I said, "He beat me." So he said, "Well, we fight him from school to the house." Yeah, that was it. And the guy is still there, and he's very fond of us.
Wait, he was older than you.
Very, very older than us, and he was the person leading us to school.
You beat the person so that you beat the hand that fed you.
Not that I beat the hand. He was beating us now. Me, as a small person, I felt I have to retaliate.
So you now carried your tag team member. But wait, Daddy, the way it looks is like you were the troublesome one and Daddy Basido was the calm one.
I was actually.
You were the troublesome one?
Yes.
You're the one?
Basi, they used to like him.
When you say like, is it the babes?
Even babes. They like him. They used to say that he behaved like a woman. Though me too, I was behaving like a woman too. In fact, everything feminine, I was more interested.
Even feminine things? That means you were hot on the market.
That time now, the magazine we used to read, romance. All those romance magazine.
Okay, wait, Daddy, so tell me. What kind of child were you growing up? Were you adventurous? You've already mentioned that you were troublesome.
I was adventurous because by my star, I always very inquisitive. I like to explore things. I like to know what is happening. In fact, it is when I'm challenged that you see the best out of me. That's a memory that I know I cannot forget.
How was secondary school like?
Secondary school. It was a hill-down tax because I never thought I would go to secondary school.
Why?
When I finished my primary school, I remember all my colleagues. They took common entrance, went to various secondary schools. When my headmaster asked me, he said, "Ating, don't you want to go to school?" I said, "I don't have anybody to train me. So that was a sober moment, and I almost gave up that I would never go to secondary school because nobody to train me. So gradually, I overstayed that stage, and from one thing to the other.
How did you get into secondary school?
It was after the war, when my sister...
Is that the Civil War?
Yeah, Civil War. When my sister came back from the Civil War, luckily for me, fortunately, I would say, because I never had the war front. In fact,
Wait, you fought the war?
I never fought the war. Like my sister was enrooted into civil defense.
Civil defense?
Yes.
Civil defense was there.
That's what they used to call it. They train you from the civil defense, you get into army.
Okay.
So in fact, it was fun of conscripting people. They want to see that you are a young boy, 18, they put you into the Afghan army and start fighting. So when I came back from the war, fortunately, I saw my sister again and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm not doing anything. I finished my primary 6. He said, "Go and pack your things. Come and stay with me." So that's how I started.
That's how you started?
Yeah, secondary school again.
By
that time, my mates have already gone far.
They were like
2 years ahead of me.
That's similar to me. You know how not secondary school, my own was university.
Okay.
You remember?
Yeah.
When I finished university.
Yeah.
That's very similar. Tell me about the war.
The war.
How was the experience?
It wasn't interesting.
Did you see people dying?
We used to see a report.
Okay, but you didn't see anybody dying?
I didn't see anybody dying. The only thing I saw was when I left Port Harcourt, came down to my village in Ikeya. Then in Ikeya, I was there before the Biafran came. They were there in my village. But suddenly there was an attack in the village by a Nigerian army. So my father took me to Bakassi State. From there,
Where was your brother at this time?
he was still in Apa, in Nakanda, where you have the Apa local government headquarters.
That's with Uncle Akpanya.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We only met with my twin brother after he came to start secondary school in Calabar. By that time, I was still...
Wait, this is how many years after?
After war?
No, like from the last time you people saw till when you came back to each other.
It was about 2-3 years.
People stayed for 2-3 years without seeing each other.
Yes, now. So that was how, when they got me at Bakassi now, they said I have to come back to see my mother at Calabar. So I went back. At that time, we started secondary school. He was in class 2 when I was in class 1.
When you were in class 1? Okay, because he started earlier before you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about your parents? What kind of parents were they?
Well, I would say they were enterprising. My father was a typical fisherman because he had his own boats, had made people working for him.
So he was a businessman?
Entrepreneur
also.
Because if you see the cash that he will always have in the morning, early in the morning they will go to the fishing sea. They will catch fish, catch crayfish, come to the compound, they dry it, put them into bags. People will come and buy it. But it was my stepmother who was handling all those things.
Okay. That's Uncle Siwai's
mother, yeah.
Mother. Okay, what of your mom?
My mom was just a petty trader, was busy selling pap, akara, or anything you can think of. Sometimes you go to the village market, deep village market, buy pumpkin. Sometimes we help her to sell all those things.
Yeah. So were they disciplinarians?
Well,
which of them used to flog?
My father doesn't flog, my mother doesn't flog.
Oh, is that why you don't flog too?
It's not because of that. You know, one thing with me is that I try to inquire why you are doing certain things. I will not just because you react in a particular way, I will just flog you. I want to see what is in that thing you are doing. And if I see that, then I will scold you.
Right.
I don't like flogging.
It's one of the things
apart
you have that rep.
Apart from I wouldn't say flog, I fought mistakenly. I wanted to kill somebody. That was in the game.
Yes.
Just in school, we play football, and we say we want to play rough. So everybody say we are playing rough. So we played rough, and one boy just think I misunderstand him, and I kick him. I never knew that he was shortly operated upon.
Wow.
So that thing almost got me a problem. I was almost expelled from the school. I didn't know. So with all those things, I don't like using my hand on anybody. Perfect in one way. It's only God that is perfect now. But even you have your own inadequacies.
No. This is about you, not about me.
Okay.
My children will come and do my own. But tell me about your time at Ogwode.
Okay, Ogwode.
That's the secondary school you finally got into.
Yeah, that's from 1971.
1971.
Yeah.
Guess what? Nobody inside this car now was born in 1971.
So I was there. I finished my secondary school there. In fact, we were shown into many people. Even, Azikiwe school there too.
Azikiwe?
Yeah, he schooled in Ogwode.
Wait, Nnamdi Azikiwe?
Nnamdi Azikiwe, yeah, he schooled in Ogwode. They showed us the tree he planted.
Azikiwe was your schoolmate.
It's not my schoolmate though.
But he was in your school.
He was in school.
Not your classmate.
Okay.
He was senior.
Yeah.
So
Moshi.
how was the experience there?
It was good though. He used to drill us very, very well because in terms of football, when we played with St. Patrick College, I would always defeat them. I was always in the first, call it first 20, and I was a science student.
Okay, thank God you didn't say first 3.
No, I know, I can't compete. The only person who was in that range was my twin brother.
Okay.
But then it was.
Is that where you school?
It was Federal Polytechnic, Akure. That's where I started for my OND. There I got my admission to read accounting in the University of Calabar.
So at this stage now you were 31.
Yes.
That's when you finished university.
Yes.
Wow. How did you feel? Because you were obviously, you must have been older than some of the people in the class.
Yes. Somebody like my friend Godfrey Rudolph. He's in the college now. I used to tell them that I came for academics. I didn't come for anything. They used to call me associate. They wanted me to be, we have BOMSA. BOMSA is a business association student council. So they wanted me to be the financial controller in that district. I told them no.
Why?
So I gave it to, no, I said I don't want anything to disturb my academics. So
you would have been controlling their money.
No. Even one of us that was there controlling the money,
The guy stole the money.
And then 1 year's suspension because
From the university.
Yes.
What did concern the university?
No. We were very strict that time. Everything, they judge you according to their performance. So the student union, we have the lawyers, we have the judge, we have everything. If you misbehave, they will try you then. And if you are found guilty, they will discipline you.
Yeah. Okay, so after all these professional courses, when did you leave the bank?
I left the bank. I can't remember exactly, but then I left the bank as a manager because I can't remember the date actually. There was a misunderstanding between me and the bank because I was trying to do my master's and they were querying that I was supposed not to do that. I said, why? I'm using my spare time to read and you're telling me I should not read. They say I'm too bold to challenge them. I should be sober. I said, I can't be sober. I'm going to school. That is accepted. So when I finished my master's, I trained with all and I left the bank. That was when I joined for consultancy job with Nicola. We used to call us revenue consultant at that time. So my first posting was to Ebonyi State. That's where I stayed. And guess what? How much was I paid as a consultant? 5,000 a month.
5,000, but this time you had family.
Yes.
Okay, so let's backtrack. When did you get married?
I married. I married actually not wedding. I married. I would say 1989.
1989. By this
My
time
wife,
you were
my wife.
33.
Yeah.
How did you meet your wife?
I met my wife through referral because it's a referral. The person I wanted to marry was not from my place at all because
you want
said,
to marry from your place. Guess who ended it for you? I now do this for you now. My wife is not from my place.
Okay.
So what you had in mind and you could not do, I did it. Where was the person from?
My wife?
No, the person that you were.
My girlfriend.
Mention the name.
Okay. It was from Delta.
Delta. Oh, because you were in Agbo.
Yes.
That time. Is that where you met her?
Yes. And it was a twin.
Was she fine?
She was.
She was fine. And she was twin.
Yes, it was a twin.
So were you trying to toast her sister for your brother too?
No. By that time, my brother has left the country. My brother has left the country and I was going to study in France.
Okay, so it was just you.
So actually, it was at the time I told my parents that I want to marry. And that's the girl I want to marry. They said, no way, you can't marry. So they recommended my wife to me.
They recommended your wife. Based on what?
Yes, based on good behavior,
Or love.
love.
So you left the love of your life.
Well, because he was not forthcoming again. And obviously,
So they did that Nigerian thing. Wait, was she in the village?
no, we're all. Agbo was not a village as such.
No, I mean your wife.
She was in the village,
She
yes.
was in the village. So they brought village girl.
At the
No,
stage,
mommy.
at the stage, I was even thinking that she's too small for me to marry.
She was too young. So how did you tell me about the first day you people saw each other?
No, it was marvelous because since they had prepared my mind that my wife is coming to meet me, and I went to the village. They introduced her to me. I took her to my family house. It was all right.
And that was it. You were married.
My parents had to go and see their parents, and they do the necessary rites.
Right. So what of like the first time? Tell me about the first time you had your first child. You were working in the bank then.
Yeah, my first child I've left. I was in my first year in university.
So that means at this time you were 28. Which year was that?
Your sister was born 1983. So
yeah. So minus 3, you were 30 years.
I knew that I married around 28.
Right. Yeah, so you were 30 years when you had her. How was that feeling? Were you in the hospital?
It was a thing of joy. No, I wasn't in the hospital. But when she was born, one of us in the village came to me. But the guy is a lab scientist. He came to me in the university and told me that his wife has put to bed. He says, tell me. So I was so happy.
So how was life going from a single guy who is just out here doing YA, then getting his job as a farm, and then now you have to
life was actually tough, but we depended on God, because if somebody had told me that I would be a graduate, I would have said you are joking. But here I am with professional qualification, master's degree holder, and all this. So we were comfortable with what we saw. That's the bone of contention. We're just comfortable with what we see. Because like these days, you wake up and say, I want to have 2 children, 3 children, all these things. We don't have time for all those ones. It's when God gives you, you take. And we're able to manage ourselves in a large family with a token. Your mother, gradually like that, we grow up.
So this time that you were earning 5,000 as a consultant, how many children did you have?
I had my 5 children already at that time.
Yes. Okay, so I want to also ask, as your best child, Shebi, I'm your best child.
One of the best.
No problem. No problem. When I'm talking to mommy, she will tell me I'm her best child.
I know you are for her.
That's fine. Tell me how it was when you first saw me. Were you there in the hospital when they were giving birth?
Hey! I was so delighted because
no, you not answer the first question. Were you in the hospital?
I wasn't in the hospital. Where do you used to be? I was in the bank working as the branch accountant in
Calabar. Told you that
in Calabar branch.
So but wait, you said is it because there was no phone then?
And they sent a message. They sent a message to me.
They fax you.
That time, what was going on was Telegram. They would just telegram you. Do you know
there's an app called Telegram?
Yes, and do you know that the telephone was there at that time? We in the bank, we in the bank, we have access to P&T. They will just Post and Telegraph department.
Okay, so they'll be calling you from
They are the one they call Nitel now. They were called.
No, it's not now. Nitel is not now. Nitel has passed since. Since 2025.
But before Nitel,
Eh,
it was P&T,
PRT
Post and Telegraph
department.
They were
So-
under Ministry of Communication at that time.
So that's where they called you that
They called me in the bank.
the best child has arrived.
So I was so happy. And I remembered Dafodene, one of the chartered accountants who won the contract for Tinapa. He came to the office and saw me and said, I think you look very happy today. I said, yes. I said, as I'm talking to you, my son is born. He said, where? I said, okay, I'm coming. He went to the... Remember the person I told you wanted to adopt you?
Yes. My grandfather.
Yes.
The one that opened my account.
Yes. He just said, I think, but 250... He said, I open a minor account for you.
Where's that money?
I opened the account too. I don't know where the money is now.
No problem.
But-
I just know that inside your will, since I'm not your best child, my money.
Let me
How much was it?
Let me correct you.
Uh-huh.
All children are best.
And when you
So,
are talking to everybody, tell them that they are the best. When you are talking to me, tell them I'm the best.
Okay, you are the best.
Yes. So this is now what year?
You mean the time you were born?
Yes. 1993.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
You know, one funny thing with me is that
You don't keep dates.
I don't keep anything
Like
in
the
my
time you
brain.
forgot my birthday.
Do you know that?
used to remember birthday.
Do you know that it was yesterday when I went to Gloria South that Bobo reminded me of birthday. I never knew there was
June calling.
It's yet to happen.
Okay, June.
June 20th.
20th is true. It's true. Let me tell you what I was doing. So I'm not going to take it. It's like you gave it to me. I used to store it in my calendar on my phone. So the phone will now remind me a day earlier.
You know why I don't do those things?
Why?
When I store something like that, it will reoccur in my brain to do something, and those things stress me out. Like now, if I store that date, 20th June, every blessed day I'll be thinking, what am I going to do on that day?
So you know the best thing that you can do is just call them.
Yeah, I do that.
But tell me about your professional life. How did you move from your consulting work from 5,000?
That one was God's will.
But wait, there's one thing I even want to ask. 5,000 naira, 5 children. So even if you share 1,000 naira per child, it's not enough. How do you used to cope?
That's what I'm saying. It's God benevolence. Your mother was working with a stipend of salaries too, but she helped me a lot. She was the best woman I had.
Best woman you have, because you still have her. Don't
Okay.
put us in trouble.
Okay.
You still have her.
Yes. So he was
So
doing,
that means
was doing petty trading and all those things and
supporting.
So I didn't feel it. I applied, sent the application, but because I was a consultant there in the Boy State, I made sure they delivered the letter to Public Service Commission.
Okay.
I got the acknowledgement, was interviewed, I passed. Thanks to God. I still remembered that I was given the appointment, even though I applied to be a chief accountant. The then head of service, Yayale Ahmed, begged me that because I have no public service orientation, they cannot give me something. So they begged me to take the letter, and that was what I was appointed as assistant chief accountant.
Okay, so now you at this point now you're a parent, right? How was parenting like from your parents?
Parenting, like I told you, I was born not in my father's environment.
Yeah.
My grandmother was actually very, very caring. And My stepfather too was very caring.
What's the name of your stepfather? You never told me.
Okay. It's late. More said it.
Okay.
We used to call him Bebe.
Oh, okay. I know that.
We call him Bebe. Bebe means husband. You know, he used to nickname people around.
You know what is raining now? You don't use to interpret language again. If you hear, you go and go for the interpretation.
Okay.
So don't try to.
Okay.
You are talking to me. Me, I understand it.
Okay.
The remaining, they should go and do their own.
Okay.
Okay. So, what did you, in terms of parenting, is there anything you picked from them that shaped the kind of parents that you became?
What I learned from my mother was the attitude of care. He was very caring. He doesn't mind sacrifice all he has for my sake. In fact, they can starve themselves, provided it is. And that's what I really give back to myself. I provided my children are happy. Comfort, I don't care about it. That's why I hardly have savings. Because I cannot see how I have money and then my child is suffering something. But it's good to have savings. But because I lack that capacity of strategic investment, I was left at the mercy of situations. But that notwithstanding, I was able to cope, and because of the freedom that my parents gave to us, we explore anything we know is good.
Was it freedom or like they just didn't care?
I would call it both. Some, the not caring wasn't deliberate. It was because of the incapacitation by the level of the poverty at that time. So when you say you want to go to this place, I remember when I got the employment to go and work in the bank, my senior sister was against it. So I should not leave Calabar, I should stay in Calabar.
And do what?
And do what? I said, what? I said, I'm going. And what motivated me was that salary they paid. Because at that time, when people were collecting 70-something naira, I was, as I said, 300 and something.
Wait, 300 and something or 35 naira?
35 naira, 35 naira.
Just because that time you were earning 300 and something.
35 naira, because do you know when they even bring this minimum wage to 30?
No, now it's 70,000.
7,000.
70. So you see how far Nigeria has come. It took about almost 40 years or 50. Though let's not talk about Nigeria so that you know me. Sorry, but okay.
That time our naira had value. Money had value that time.
How much could so if you were earning 35 naira, what could it do?
You could use 5 naira to buy a very pot of soup. You can do that now.
5 naira to cook a pot of soup?
Yes.
Okay. How much was transport? Or people used to trek or ride bicycle?
Majority was trekking, because I remember even to school, I used to trek to school and trek back. You just a distance of from here to Yanya, you trek.
Is there?
Yes, you trek.
That's almost 30. Okay, maybe 20 kilometers.
You trek.
Or is it because there was no houses, so you people would not even know that you are trekking that far?
Like I said, if you cannot beat them, join them. You have no means of transportation. So the only means of transport was your foot and the road. So the road are part road. No, who are you to ride on a horse? At our side, no, you don't have this.
You don't have horse. So it was only the north.
It was only nothing to say they have horse.
Okay.
So what was raining at that time was bicycle. bicycle. So if you want to meet, the means of transport was bicycle. You carry a lot of load on the bicycle.
How was your first time coming to Abuja?
I happened to know Lagos before Abuja, but it was my work that brought me to Abuja, and it was very miraculous. I had to trek from AIM Consultant at to that place to go and take mineral because I didn't know how to navigate in Abuja. Because when I came, the place they took me to was that AIM Consultant. But to just recharge myself, I had to trek from there to that. From there, I was accommodated, finished my exams, interview, and then that's where I went to stay with my friend at Moses and what near this park.
That park. Amusement park.
Yes.
So amusement park.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you feel like this whole time? Thinking like your family is with you, you come to see the better life in Abuja.
I didn't forget them. My mind was still there with them, but what did I do? I couldn't do more. So all I was doing was to be communicated with them. I used to communicate with them.
Tell me about this, your odd day theory.
It's because it's a philosophy that says the theory of good and bad. See that. And if you give odd days negative, you give even day positive. It does not mean that because it's negative, it's going to be negative. It can turn out to be, because in every lesson, but I was able to prove it though, using positive, negative. Use that physics. I was able to prove it, and it has worked very well for me.
So on odd days, you expect?
Odd days, you can never harm me. On odd days, you can, because you see, the devil is walking towards negativity, and do you know why they cannot deal with the most they want like this?
It's an odd day.
Okay. So it is that theory that has helped me. And if you look at happenings, 29 May, 27 May, 71, when the war ended.
No. When did the war start?
67.
67. The war started 67.
But when the war really hit up, when I was in Calabar, that's when I saw the Nigerian army the first time. They were tall, used with their big guns. The Biafran gun was small, short gun like this. But
which army was more powerful?
Both armies were powerful. You know how anybody to deceive you. Both were powerful because they were supported by external forces. Why Russia supported Biafra? I think it was America or Europe that supported.
It has to be America.
Nigeria. And I remember even that time in my primary school, those that used to fly the air pilots were from Russia. They were living close to my school.
So Russians used to come and fly the planes?
Yeah. They were mercenaries now. They were hired as pilots and they were hired as the same.
Okay, so tell me some of the things that you hold very dear. Maybe 5 things that you hold very dear in your life. Apart from me.
My family first. My care for my life.
Your care for your life.
Yes. Guys, I have that premonition that I will live long.
Yes.
So I have to care for that life so that I can
live
long.
Okay.
So that is another thing. Another thing, I cherish most is a relationship, but unfortunately, I don't know how to sustain good relationship. But it's very, very important.
Okay.
If I have sound relationship. Another thing, I like my quiet life. I like my quiet life. I don't like to make noise about anything. I like doing things surprisingly. Don't expose me. Don't expose me. So my privacy is also very, very.
Okay. You didn't say God.
Yeah?
You didn't say God and faith.
When I said I care for myself, it's God that cares for you. Now. You can't care for yourself.
So tell me about your perspective to faith and religion.
Okay.
Because your own is different from a lot of people.
In terms of religion, I would say I'm a freelancer.
How do you mean?
Anything that is biblical, I do it. But when I go there, I will examine if my spirit aligns with it.
There is Holy Spirit and there is what do you call it? Intuition and gut feeling and all those things.
Let me tell you, don't allow anybody to deceive you. The Holy Spirit has to pass through intuition, because though it's a person, you can't see him. It is your inspiration that will lead you to him. For example, you can be thinking of something and suddenly that thing just materializes. Then you see that it's God that has made that thing to be that way.
Have you had any of such experiences?
I do.
Tell me one.
You mean the experience of Holy Spirit?
Yes, maybe something happened that
I remembered.
you knew that this one.
I remembered when I came in for employment here in Abuja.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get my ICANN number for me to register for my practice here. And I remembered the thing was at home. So I meditated about it, and God showed me where it was. So I told my wife, go to Suzu place.
Right.
And he got there and he was able to get it.
Let's cut for a bit.